Hello dear students, my name is Andrew and today we are going to have a very interesting lesson. We are going to have a lesson about the things that are all around us, the things we see, the things we touch, the things we use in our daily lives while we are at school, while we are at home, and while we are anywhere. Before I start with today's lesson, let me tell you of a story. You see, the other day I went to see a friend of mine. I have a friend and his name is Alex. So I went to Alex's home because I had not seen my friend for a very long time. When I got to Alex's home, I knocked at the door, but to my surprise, no one came to my reply. So I decided to walk in. When I got inside, even without being welcomed, I did not see Alex. Alex was not in the sitting room. So I decided to go to the bedroom. Maybe Alex was sleeping, but Alex was not in the bedroom. Oh, he must be in the kitchen, I thought. So I went to the kitchen, but Alex was not in the kitchen either. Oh, yes, I thought Alex must be at the backyard of the house. So I rushed to the backyard, but when I got there, Alex was not there. So I looked everywhere and I did not see Alex. I was so disappointed that I had not seen my friend. So, very heartbroken, I decided to walk away with my head down. I decided to walk back home. But before I walked away, something happened. When I was about to get out, I heard someone coughing and laughing right under the table. Oh, so you know what happened. Alex was hiding under the table, so I called him out. Alex came out and he laughed at me. He said that he had done a prank on me because he wanted to see my reactions. So we laughed and laughed and laughed. Now, take off that story, throw it off the window now. Let's get to today's lesson. Are you ready? Okay. Now, please grab your pen and a notebook so that you will be noting down all the important things that will be happening along our subject. Today's lesson is about nouns. Okay, this can be found in a Form 2 syllabus on a second topic that is talking about events. Also, it may be found on a topic describing oneself and talking about events. There we can find nouns. As I said earlier, nouns are everywhere. We use nouns to name things. We use nouns to call things. We use nouns while we're at school, at home, and anywhere. So, today's lesson is going to be divided into three major parts. Number one, we are going to see the explanation of these nouns. What are these things called nouns? Then we are going to see the categories of nouns. And thirdly, we are going to see how basically we can use nouns to meet our daily communication. First objective, that is the explanation and description of nouns. Nouns can be described as the names of things. Basically, nouns are the words in our language we use to name the objects in the real world. Do you remember the story I told you earlier? Well, I will walk you through the story and you will learn that there were plenty of nouns in the story. I said I had a friend, his name was Alex. So Alex actually is a name of a person. So my friend Alex has a name and that name is what we call a noun. But when I went to Alex's house, so there is a house. A house is also a name. It's a name of an object we live in, like this one, a house. So a house, the word house is a noun. So when I go to Alex's house, I knocked at the door. You remember? Sure you do. So the door is a name of a part of a house that we get in through. So actually the word doll is also a noun. When I got inside, I did not see Alex at the sitting room, at the bedroom, at the backyard, at the kitchen. Now, all these kitchen, bedroom, backyard, these are names of parts in the house. So they are names of actually things in the real world. And these ones are also nouns. The last noun in the story was, you guess what? Pop quiz. Now, I give you 3 seconds to guess. 1, 2, 3. Okay, the last noun was the table. So Alex hiding under the table, the word table actually is a word that represents an object in the real world we sit and study on, we eat on the table, and we do our homework on the table. So all these are nouns. Okay, now the second part of our lesson, we said we are going to discuss about the categories of nouns. Now, nouns have categories. As you heard, I had a noun at the beginning of my lesson that was entitled to a person, Alex. Now, this is called a proper noun. Proper nouns are written beginning with the capital letters. What does this mean? It means that Alex, because he's the only one, that's why his name is proper noun. Like Tanzania, Kilimanjaro, Uganda, Kenya. You name the names of countries, cities, and persons. These ones are all proper nouns. The other category are names of the common things. Common things. Now, these ones are called common nouns. So, I said I went to Alex's house. Boom. That's a noun. It's a common noun. I knocked at the door. Boom. That's a common noun. I went to the kitchen. Boom. That's another common noun. I went to the backyard, the sitting room. Boom, boom. All those are common nouns. And lastly, I found him under the table. Boom. That was also a common noun. So common nouns are names of the common things that happen not in uniqueness. There are so many tables in the world and all of them are called tables. There are so many houses in the world and all of them are called houses. Now, dear students, let's talk on the application of these nouns. Let's see how we can actually apply these nouns. Okay, nouns can be used in sentences. And a sentence is made up of 3 major parts. So in a sentence, we have the subject, we have the verb, and we have the object. 2 of these 3 can happen to be a noun. Now, I will break it down for you. The subject actually is that part of a sentence that introduces the doer of an action. And the verb is that part of a sentence that tells us what the sentence is all about. It tells us the action that is happening. And the object, that's a third part in a sentence, is that part that is actually affected by the action. So the subject of the sentence can be a noun. Now, let's pick up any noun. Let's pick up a noun like, let's say, Jonathan. Well, we said proper nouns are names of persons. So, Jonathan is a proper noun. Okay, now let's say Jonathan drives a nice car. Okay, Jonathan is a noun and it happens to be on a place of a subject. Why? Because Jonathan is the doer of the action. Jonathan is the one that does what the sentence tells us. Then the second part, that is driving. So Jonathan drives. Drives, that's a verb. It tells us about what happens with the sentence, what the doer does. And the third part, that is an object. Jonathan drives a nice car. So a nice car, all of that is an object. Why? Because it's the one that is being affected by the action of a sentence. If John drives something, then that something that is being driven is affected by the action of a sentence. So actually, Jonathan is a subject, drives is a verb, and a nice car is the object. And we can say that a nice car, a car basically is a noun. It's a noun of a vehicle. Now, another example where we can use nouns is in a sentence like this one. The dog bites stubborn children. So the dog is a noun and it's in the part of the subject because the dog is the one that carries the action. It's the one that does the action. Bites, this is a verb and it shows what actually the dog does. Stubborn children, these are objects because they're basically the ones that are being affected by the action of the dog. Pop quiz. Now I'll give you a question and I will not answer this one. Please, can you find any nouns in the following sentence? Okay. I saw a very big elephant when I went to the zoo. Again, I repeat the sentence. I saw a very big elephant when I went to the zoo. So, can you find the nouns in that sentence? 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, is I a noun? Is so a noun? Is very a noun? Is elephant a noun? Is zoo a noun? Well, if you ticked them, then you must have found 2 nouns. An elephant and a zoo. I have the last quiz for you. Please write where you are. Use your pen to write down the nouns that are around you. Write all the nouns that are around you. Dear students, if you found that this video was beneficial to you, please visit my website, that is www.comestudywithandy.wordpress.com. It's a pretty simple website and you shouldn't forget it at any cost. There are tons and tons of videos like these ones that will help you along. On my website, there are also activities where I give quiz F and the students that perform the best are awarded tokens. And these tokens are used to download free ebooks on my website. Literally hundreds and thousands of books for structure and literature, all for you. Elimu kwa tehama, tehama kwa elimu. On my website also, there is a survey monkey whereby you will be filling in all the areas that trouble you, all the topics from Form 1 all the way to Form 6. So we will be analyzing all the problems dealing with English. So I will always be here. Every week I'll be dropping 2 videos. Make sure you don't miss them. On my website, there are also past papers way back from 1980s to 2017. All these past papers have questions, the ones that you can answer online. Be sure, please, when you sign in the Survey Monkey, be kind enough to tell me which school you're coming from and which region of Tanzania. I would be very glad to know where my lovely students come from. The website also is very fast. It's written in PHP format and it's very, very convenient. You will love it while you visit it. So please, come visit the website and tell your friends and friends of friends and their friends of friends. It's so simple, convenient, and it's for free. And this is the end of today's lesson, but it's not the end of learning. Elimu kwa tehama, tehama kwa elimu. Until next time, it's your teacher, Andrew Marcel. Thank you for watching this video. Be safe, be blessed, and enjoy your time.